The main problem in the process of struggling with the self is self-deception. Even when the truth is crystal clear, a person often follows the desires of the nafs rather than reason. They know they are making a mistake, but prefer to deceive themselves. Imagine someone being asked, "The newspaper said smoking is harmful. Will you quit smoking now?" They reply, "Yes, I read it, but instead of quitting smoking, I'll quit reading newspapers." Spiritual matters are no different. Religion teaches us that carnal desires and superficial cravings do not bring peace. Instead, they make life more bitter. While reason accepts this truth, a person listens to the nafs, thinking, "Maybe I'm the exception." Why does a person deceive themselves? Because the difficulty of fighting against the desires seems heavier than the hardship of submitting to them. In reality, it's the opposite. Struggling with the nafs leads a person to their ultimate purpose, fulfilling their deepest desires and granting profound satisfaction. Yes, struggling against the nafs is challenging, but it is the only way among all difficulties that can bring true happiness. O humans, you are toiling towards your Lord, and you will surely meet him. Surah Al-Inshiqaq, verse 6. This verse underscores the challenges of life. Subduing the nafs is not easy. The friends of Allah, the saints, have endured great hardship and suffering to reach spiritual heights. They are truly brave and courageous people. As a hadith states, "The bravest among people is the one who conquers their own nafs." A true man is not one who shows force to others, but one who conquers himself. The illusions of the world deter us from this path. Beneath its beautiful appearance lies the suffering of the soul. What deters us is our own self-deception. Every day someone dies, but we pretend not to see. We understand the emptiness of our desires, yet choose to feign ignorance. We hear the voice of our innate nature, but act as though we are deaf to it. During holidays, we wish each another to reach all desires, even though we know this is impossible. A person cannot achieve all their desires. In sad times, we hope for no more grief in the future, but this too is unattainable. To live in this world means to experience sorrow. A person can only choose which desires to pursue and which sorrows to endure. We must be realistic to live life fully. Ramadan lets us to experience this to some extent. Fasting restricts superficial cravings, allowing innate desires to manifest more vividly. While in this world, one can feel paradise. We must patiently conduct our struggle against the self so that, in due time, we reveal our true nature. Each denial of a superficial desire is a step towards our true nature and closer to God. Although the results of these efforts may not be immediately felt, they profoundly affect the soul. Therefore, the late realization of results should not discourage us. All of this is understandable. But why do we need to view life from the perspective of difficulty? Why doesn't religion emphasize the pleasures of life? Why does religion say, life is hard, but sometimes it is pleasant? Instead of life is pleasant, but sometimes there are hardships? The Quran highlights the challenging path to Allah. For indeed, with hardship comes ease. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Surah Al-Inshiqaq, verses 5 to 6. This is because a person is naturally inclined toward comfort and ease. Challenges can easily demoralize them. Emphasizing difficulties helps shield people from despair. The bitterness of submitting to the nafs causes greater suffering than the challenges of resisting it. By highlighting the struggles, religion protects people from self-deception. Anyone seeking an easy path to God while overlooking hardships risks becoming the most dangerous kind of being. Those unwilling to endure difficulties may falter halfway, like someone attempting to climb a lofty peak but underestimating the effort required. As the climb grows harder, they lose strength, stumble, and fall. Such a person will become an enemy to humanity because their faith becomes self-serving. Their worship inflates their pride. Eventually, they rebel against God, considering enduring a few trials a heroic act. Therefore, in hadiths, a self-reproaching sinner is considered superior to a self-satisfied worshiper. The self-critical sinner has a better chance of reform. We should be aware of these characteristics of the way beforehand so we can be prepared and not tire out. Let our faith not weaken. What does weak faith mean? What does weakening of faith mean? More on that in the next episode.